Daf Peches Amud Aleph, right at the top. Continuing with the discussion of whether Rosh Chodesh Sivan, when the year that Klal Yisrael Makabel Torah was Rosh Chodesh on Sunday or Monday, Rav Yossi says Sunday, the Rabbanan say Monday. It was taught in Seder Olam. Nisan Shabo Yotzi Yisrael Mitzrayim. Nisan, the year that Klal Yisrael left Mitzrayim, Ba'arba'asa Shachtu B'Schem. They shechted the Korban Pesach on the 14th day of Nisan. V'chamisho Asar Yotz. They left on the 15th day. V'oisa Hayayim Erev Shabbos Hayim. And according to the Seder Olam, as opposed to what we learned before that it was on Thursday, Seder Olam says that it was on Friday. So therefore, if we say that the 15th was on Friday, the 15th day of Nisan was Friday, Umidaresh Yarcha Nisan, therefore it must have been that Rosh Chodesh was also on Friday. So Umidaresh Yarcha the Nisan Erev Shabbos. Therefore, if we work back, if the 15th day is Friday, then Rosh Chodesh must have been Friday. And therefore, Rosh Yarcha the year Chad B'Shabbat. Nisan was Malay, 30 days, so Rosh Chodesh year was on Sunday. V'sivan b'prei b'Shabbat. And that means that Rosh Chodesh Nisan was on Monday. Kasha Rav Yossi, it's a Kasha Rav Yossi. Amar lach Rav Yossi, Hamani Rabbanan he. This is going according to the Rabbanan. The Tanu Seder Olam, that is going according to the sheet of the Rabbanan. Tanashma Rav Yossi Aimer. B'sheni Olam Moshe. Rav Yossi says that on Monday Moshe Rabbeinu went to Har Sinai, v'yaret, and then he came down. B'shlishi Ola, and on Tuesday he went up the mountain, v'yaret, and he came down. B'dalet, on Wednesday, Yarad, he went down, v'shuv loyal, and then he didn't go back any further until Kabbalah Soter, until Matan Torah. What do you mean Yarad? Me'achash loyola, me'echan Yarad. How could he go down if it doesn't say that he went up? How can he come down if he didn't go up? Ela b'Ravi, Allah v'yared. Must be that Ravi on Wednesday, Allah v'yared. He went up the mountain and he came down. B'chamishi bana mizbeach. On Thursday he built a mizbeach at the foot of the heart. V'hikar olav karb, and he was makriv a karb. B'shishi lo yayel p'nai. But on the 6th day he did not have time. He was too busy. So what does that mean? My love, what was he too busy? Why couldn't he go up the mountain? Why was he too busy? My love, Mishum Torah, because that must have been the day of Kabbalah Soter, which is like the Rabbanan that says that Matan Torah was on Vav Sivan, not like Rav Yossi who says it was on Zayin. What says like Mishum Torah Shabbos? He says it was Mishum Torah Shabbos because of the preparations for Shabbos, but Matan Torah was on the next day. Dorish Hau Glilo Ale Rav Chisda. Someone from Golil, the Golil, Darshan, in front of Rav Chisda. Baruch Hachmona, Baruch Hashem, the Yav Ayran Tlisoi, that gave us a Torah that's in thirds. As Rashi explains, Torah, Nevim, Aksuvim. The Torah that's in thirds, La'am Tliso, to a people of thirds. Kahanim, Levim, Yisraelim. Al Yedei Tliso, on through the one who was a third born to his mother Moshe Rabbeinu was a third born. B'yom Pliso, on the third day, meaning the third day after the Prisha. On the third day after the Prisha, so it was B'yom Pliso, B'yarchet Pliso, on the third month of the year of Sivan. Kiman. According to whom does this go? It says that it was given on the third day of the Prisha. That means the Prisha was on Thursday. Matan Kabbalah Soter, like we said, the Kuli Amater Nitten B'Shabbos. Who's that going? Kiman Kirabbanan. And it's going according to the Rabbanan, who said that the Prisha was on Thursday because according to Rav Yossi, it was on Wednesday. Now the Gemara, the famous droshes the Gemara is going to have about Matan Torah, Kabbalah Soter. It says Vayisyasu B'Tachtis Hahar, that they stood at the bottom of the mountain, at the foot of the mountain. Omer Avdimi Bar Chama Bar Chasa, Melamit Shekaf Aleim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Melamit Shekaf HaKadosh Baruch Hu Aleim as a Har Kegikis. It shows that they were at the foot of the mountain, that the mountain, the Rabban Shalom turned the mountain over to them like a barrel, like a vat, and hovering over them. Va'omer lahem, he said, Im atem mekabel Torah mutav, if you're going to be mekabel Torah, then fine. But if im lav sham teik for awesome, if not, you'll be buried under this mountain. So they were forced to be mekabel Torah. Over here, you have a maidah, that a notification you have legabe kabbalas Torah, that if there's a taina why Klal Yisrael are not mekayim the mitzvahs, there's a taina that they were forced into it. That's why they were not mekabel the mitzvahs. Fraktai says, well, what do you mean? They already said nasav and nishma. They were already mekabel the taina. What do you mean that they were forced? Why were they forced? They were already mekabel. This explains, but at the Shas at the time, Matan Torah, there are all the krelas of the Baruchim, the Eish Gedolah, so perhaps they'd be afraid and they would back out, and therefore it was Hakafam Harkigigis that they cannot back out. They're forced to go ahead with this. Rava says, Afal Pikin, nevertheless, even though they were forced at the time of Kabbalah Torah, but at the time of Chashverosh, they were Mekabel, D'chsiv, Kimu v'Kiblu. It says, Kimu Kibla Yehudim. They established and accepted. So what is Kimu v'Kiblu? Kimu Masha Kiblu Kfar. The Mekayim, that what they already Mekabel, that they already Mekabel the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, they were now Mekayim it, they took it upon themselves, and now they were going to do it, and they took it upon themselves without coercion. And the Rishonim are bothered, many of the Rishonim are bothered by this Gemara, but what does that mean? What does it mean that they were forced, and they at the time of Chashverosh they accepted it, and therefore it's binding, and there's no more Maidah. The time of Moshe Rabbeinu, there's a taina. They were forced. After the time of Achashverosh, the time of the Nesa Purim, Klal Yisrael accepted it Mehava. So therefore, there at that point there's no more Maidah. There is because they accepted unconditionally. But we know that Klal Yisrael were punished many times throughout the course of the time from Matan Torah until Chashverosh. They were punished many times for not keeping the mitzvahs. So it was binding. There was no taina. There was no taina. They were punished and they were sent into Golus. So what does it mean that because there's no more doi because they're Makal Matayim Achashverosh? They were punished and it was binding. It was binding regardless. And there was also the brisim that they had, Har Grizin and Har Eval and Gilgal. They had all the brisim that they were Makabel upon themselves. They took upon themselves the Torah. The Ramban explains, and the Ran as well, their approach is that all that was binding without a taina, without a maidah, was al tanai that they had Eretz Yisrael. So it was only binding to the extent that in return for having Eretz Yisrael, they were mechuyev to mitzvahs and get punished without. But once they were in Golus and they were sent away, what was binding them to the Torah at that point? At that point, when they didn't have Eretz Yisrael, when there was no more Eretz Yisrael, at that point, then what would be binding them further? And on that, it's the Kabbalah at the time of Chashverosh. That Kabbalah was binding them even in time of Golus, even without Eretz Yisrael. It's unconditionally, they were bound to the Torah, the Kibbul, the Makabel, Mahav at the time of Chashverosh. Amr Chizkiya, what is in the Pasuk Mishamayim Mishmata, then you from the Shemayim, you made known your judgment. Eretz Yora V'Shakot, the earth was afraid and then was quiet, was calm. So Im Yora Lama Shakta, V'Im Shakta Lama Yora. Well, it was either calm or it was afraid, was trembling. It was either calm or afraid. So what's the pshat? Meaning there are two stages. The Gemara answers, at the beginning there was fear. Would Klal Yisrael accept the Torah? The whole Bri was conditional on Klal Yisrael accepting the Torah, so there was fear. But after they were Makabel the Torah, then it was calm. V'lo Yara, why was it afraid? Why was it so important? Why was it fear whether Klal Yisrael would Makabel Torah or not? K'derei Shalakish. What does it mean in the pasuk by Brias Ha'olam? bria that it says, I hear about Yom Hashishi, this hey how you do, hey Hashishi, hey Yisera Lamalim, Malamachis, and Kodesh Baruch Hu, in Maisa Bereshis, that the Kodesh Baruch Hu made it tonight with Maisa Bereshis. Normally said to him, Im Yisrael Mekam L'Torah, Im Yisrael Mekam L'Torah, Atem Zkaim. If Klal Yisrael are given a Kabbalah Torah, then you have a Kim, you will exist. But if they're not going to be Kabbalah Torah, I'm going to put you back into and make you into Taiva Voyu and undo the whole Bria. So there is a fear. But they're Makabal the Torah, and that gave a kiyum to Shemayim V'Aretz. Darish Rav Simai, B'Shashik Dim Yisrael Nasal Nishma, at the time when Klal Yisrael, that they were maktim. First Nasa to Nishma, Bo'eshishim Rivashal Malach Yisharas Kol Echad Ve'echad, 600,000 Malach Yisharas came to each Yid, and Koshal Shnei Ksarim, and tied to him 2 crowns. Echad Keneged Nasa, and Echad Keneged Nishma. One corresponding to Nasa, one Keneged Nishma. Kevin Shechal to Yisrael, but after the Chet HaEgel, Yorad Meya ve'esrim riboy malachei chabola. There was 120,000 malachei chabola that came, and they upirkan, and they removed the crowns, and they removed these crowns. Shenemar v'yisnasel b'nei Yisrael se'idya mehar charev. That Klal Yisrael were stripped away of the jewelry that they had in Har Sinai and Charev and Har Sinai. It was taken away from them. Taisa says that these ksarim were from the Hoid of the Rebbeinu Shalom. And Memela, Moshe Rabbeinu, who was Zeicha to them, that when they were taken away from Klal Yisrael, they were given to Moshe Rabbeinu, and that's how he was Zeicha to Koran or Panov. And they had the Hadras Panov, the light from his face, Koran or Panov. Amar Chama Rabbi Chanina, Becharev Tano. They were at Har Sinai, they were loaded up with the crowns. In Becharev, Parko, and they were taken away from them at Chorev. B'charav tanu kiram. We just said b'charav parku d'chsiv v'yisnatzlu b'nei Yisrael, that their crowns were taken away from them. Amar Rav Yochanan v'kulin zalcha Moshe v'notlan. Moshe Rabbeinu was zaycha to all these crowns. The samach like Moshe yikach hasayim. And it's smichas Moshe yikach. Moshe took away these crowns. And the Rebbeinu Shalom will in the future return these crowns to us. The ones that Hashem will redeem will return. Uvol sin berina, and will come to Eretz Yisrael berina with rejoicing. The simchas olam al reisham. The simchas olam, the everlasting simcha, will be on their heads. Simcha shemil olam, the simcha that was there from before, that al reisham will be restored to their heads. Amr Belazar Abishoshek Yisrael Nasa v'Nishma Yatsa Bas Kol v'Amr Lehen Migila Levonai Razesh Malach Yishars Mishnam Shimboy. At the time they said Nasa v'Nishma, there's a Bas Kol that came out said, who revealed the secret that my Malachim, that they use that secret, meaning that the unconditional acceptance from the Rebbeinu Shalom. Nasa v'Nishma, who revealed the secret? D'chsiv Baruch Hashem Malacha Giborei Kayach Malachav Giborei Kayach Oisa Devora Lishmaya B'Kol Devora. So it says first it says Oisa, then it says Lishmaya. V'Reish Oisa v'Hara Lishmaya. Amar Rabbi Yochanan ben Chanina Mai d'chsiv Ki Tapuach v'Atzei Yara, like an apple among the trees of the forest. Lama Nimshal Yisrael Tapuach. Why are Klal Yisrael compared to the apples? Why the apple tree? Just like this tapuach, the fruit comes before the leaves. Before the leaves are fully formed, the fruit starts to form. Therefore, Yisrael also redeemed the tapuach because hikdimu nasa l'nishma. The fruit, the asiyah of it, comes already, it jumps out, it comes ahead, just like the tapuach, the fruit comes before the leaves. Taisus argues with Rashi, this is Rashi Pshat, Taisus argues, and he says what's referred to by tapuach over here is esrog. It's referring to the esrog, which we see the esrog grows differently than other trees. How would Stuki, the Chazal L'Rava the Kamayim B'Shmaitz? There was Stuki that saw the Rava, he was orangutan and learning, the Yasa Esbasa Yarchatu Sikara. And he was so engrossed that he inadvertently had put his finger under his leg. and the kamayis behu dama, the kamayis behu, and he was crushing it, and the kamavin as well as dama, and his finger was flowing with blood. Amrlu, the Tzeduki said to him, Ama Pziza, you're a nation that rushes into things, you're impulsive. Ama Pziza, the Kadmisu Pumaychu Adonaichu, you rushed to speak before you heard. You said Nasav and Ishma before you were hearing what you were getting into, you already spoke. You still are remaining in your impulsiveness. You're still rushing, you're doing things, you're engrossing, you're learning, you don't even know what, you're not realizing what you're doing. And at first what you should have done is heard what the Torah is, heard what the mitzvahs are, let's see what the requirements. And you would say to determine whether you're able to accept it. And if not, like kablisu, you shouldn't have accepted it. So you're an impulsive nation. Omer lahu, he said to Anan, we go with shleimus, with our tmimut or tomim, and with faith in the Rebbeinu Shalom. So at Ksiv Bon, it says about us, Tumas Rishayim Tanchen. It says that the Tumas Rishayim, the ones who are tomim, have perfect faith, then the Rebbeinu Shalom will lead us. We have faith in him, and he will lead us. Hanach inshi this again balilusa. But you people, you go with your crookedness, your perverseness. Ksivahu v'selach baigdim yishadim. Then your crookedness, your perverseness, this is what will destroy you. We go with our tzmimis, and that's what will lead us and preserve us. You go with your krumkeit, and that's what will destroy you.